بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأنزلنا من السماء ماء بقدر فأسكناه في الأرض وإنا على ذهاب به لقادرون.
Planet Earth has changed as well, and the game changer was water. When you look at Earth from space, you see a lot of water. We are the blue planet after all, so it must be really wet, right?
It looks at first glance that our Earth, of course, covered 3/4 by oceans. It's a very water-rich world. Not true. The Earth by mass is only 0.06% water. There's some water on the surface in the form of oceans, some water trapped in the mantle, but actually the Earth is a relatively dry rock.
All of the inner rocky planets formed very close to the sun. So they started off dry. Any water they might have had evaporated away or was blown away by impacts.
These massive collisions that formed the Earth were so energetic that any water that had been here would have been vaporized and lost from the Earth.
So where did Earth get all the new water we have today? It moved here.
When you look farther out, and you look at Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, those planets have enormous amounts of water locked up inside them. And even more dramatically are the moons. The moons of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are at least 50% water.
There was a lot of water out there, so how did some of it get to planet Earth?
And the answer almost certainly is that left farther out in our solar system were some asteroids and some comets, far enough from the sun that they could retain their water.
Millions of these watery comets and asteroids came flying into the inner solar system. And some of them smashed into Earth.
Over the eons, the Earth acquired the water that had been a part of the asteroids. And that indeed makes up the mass of water that nearly covers the Earth today.
But the amount of water that was delivered, that was the luck of the draw.
Couldn't it have been the case that the Earth would have acquired maybe half as much water as it did? If so, the Earth would be nearly dry on its surface, if not completely dry, the sponge of the interior soaking up the rest of the water.
No surface water would have meant no life. And what about too much water?
We would be a water world. The oceans much deeper, covering the continents, even Mount Everest. And so you can ask then, if the Earth were covered by water, only having twice as much as it currently has, would we have had a planet that was suitable for technological life? Technology requires dry land. And it's quite likely that the precise amount of water that the Earth just happens to have has allowed a technological species like we Homo sapiens to spring forth.
The world as we know it exists because a blizzard of comets and asteroids delivered just the right amount of water about 4 billion years ago.